Welcome, everybody. I need you to all be very quiet. This is a very secretive episode of the Union Federation podcast. I've done something I probably shouldn't have done. I've intercepted a Section 31 black transmission, and I've got some very exciting news that is going to be happening. But I needed a little help in this caper, so I reached out to, of course, to my Fandom Podcast Network co-founder. He might have some ties to some underworld things going on within the Orville, the Union, and the Federation. Um, we just call him Agent K. He's the one and only Mr. Kevin Reitzel.
I've just come from Deep Space Nine with my colleagues, and I am ready to get into Section 31 secrets. Well,
did you see that tailor I told you to go visit?
Yeah, he was a lot of help.
Yeah. Well, truthfully, my ultra spy has been out on undercover mission. I don't know if I'll get everything out of her because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, supposedly.
Does it?
That's the question here. But I know she uses a little Romulan ale and gets a lot of information out of a lot of people. It's one of my favorite spies, the one and only Miss Amy Nelson.
Yes, I have returned from Risa, and when people are happy, they tell me things. So I have news.
Well,
she's got that spiked canar.
Yeah, we have a lot of news, but of course this is the Union Federation podcast on both the Fandom Podcast Network and of course the BQN network as well. Amy, how are things over at the BQN? I was following your Discord all weekend long. I don't know if anybody's going to be the same after this STLV that just passed.
No, this was a very special convention, and I was happily posting all the fun things that I was learning and experiencing in our Discord. So if you haven't signed up, join us over there on Discord.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun over there. It's a little bit scary. Don't get into the Discord after dark section. It gets a little strange, but we are here to talk all about the latest happenings in breaking news with everything that's going on in Star Trek and the Orville, because we haven't had Orville stuff to talk about for a while, and boy, do we have some Orville things to talk about, guys. So let's get right into it. Okay, the graphic might be just a little bit not 100% accurate, but we have had probably the biggest confirmation of that Orville season 4 is going to be happening, and it happened at STLV of all places by somebody who is quite well known, but he wasn't even a guest at STLV. It slowly began popping up on Twitter that a certain pilot of the Orville, Mr. Scott Grimes, at a concert that he had at STLV or tie indirectly at STLV, announced that Orville is slated to begin filming in January 2025. And this has been picked up by a few different people who are aficionados on the Orville and have some ties to the official Orville people as well. In fact, I believe, I'm not sure which podcast, but there's a few official Orville podcasts out there, and one of them even confirmed it. Guys, we haven't heard from Seth. We haven't heard from Fox. We haven't heard from Disney. So I'm not going to go 100%, but I'm feeling about 90% good that this is happening here, and it is exciting. And Kev, you might have put it the best when you got the news.
Oh, you mean, is it okay to have Orville chub? Yes. Yes. Okay. So I think we should clarify. I think it was production was going to start in January of 2025, which could not necessarily mean filming, but maybe new set production and, pre-production, all that kind of stuff. Because I don't know where they are with the Orville set. I don't know if they're going back to the old one, or if they're going to start a new one. So that whatever it is, that's good. I hope that we'll get some type of production here. But in the notes here, I see the official Twitter account for the Orville hasn't tweeted since April 2023, but we'll be keeping any eyes on that update. I'm really excited. And the fact that he said it during a concert at STLV, that someone that I know that is in this room meeting right now missed and might have regretted missing that concert.
Yes. Well, they have these concerts around 8:30, and that's, prime dinner and masquerade bar times. So I chose poorly, but how amazing is it that Scott Grimes bought a ticket to STLV, came on his own accord, got up with his band. This is pretty darn awesome because he wasn't like a formal guest, And for him to be making this announcement was so exciting. The buzz was around the next day. And I do want to point out the Mission Log Orville podcast group, what was it? 2 months ago said from people who we trust, there will be a season 4. And we talked about it, but we were just like, oh, it's not official. But now with that and added to Scott Grimes' comments, I'm just for sure we are getting it.
So I wanted to ask you this, Kyle, and feel free to chime in on this, Amy. And we were talking before we started recording. We know that Scott Grimes and Seth MacFarlane are really good friends. They've been working together for years. And also Scott Grimes played one of the lead cast members in that very popular TED TV series. He was the father. And I can just assume, when are we going to make an announcement? I'm doing this Trek thing. And I'm kind of, just making this story up in my mind, guys, that Seth was like, why don't you just say something casual? I'll let you run with it. Let you go. Do you think that's what happened? Or do you think that he just let it slip, or what do you think?
I think he wouldn't have done it without Seth's blessing. So I think there's a little something there because Scott, like you said, Scott and Seth are incredibly close as friends. So yeah, I don't think he does it without Scott's blessing, Amy, or without Seth's blessing at some point there, Amy. What do you think?
Yeah, these actors know too well how much trouble they can get when they do release information that should not be at the appropriate time. So they know how to play the game.
Yeah.
So, well, speaking of STLV, Miss Nelson, you spent a little time there this weekend. Rumor has it there might still be a few wanted posters out there for you. We won't talk about what happened with the Ferengi at the one bar at that one place. Can you give us a little STLV 2024 report? What you can, because I know certain things have to stay in Vegas.
Well, that was sort of the funny trope that was going around, because on the panels, they would be like, can you tell us something? Because Lower Decks, for example, for season 5. And they're like, but what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas, because we are all out there on the socials sharing information. One thing that I'm super excited for is that the Section 31 movie will be starting production at the end of this month. So the end of August, they're going to be getting that movie on the way. I'm so excited. And we got the trailer dropping at San Diego Comic-Con. So this is for sure going. I mean, look at the beautiful trailer. What did you guys think of the trailer?
But we're gonna get to that trailer here
Sorry.
soon. No, you're quite all right. Now, obviously, are you sure? Because they've obviously done some filming because they have this trailer out. So is it more of just getting the ball really rolling? Because at San Diego, I will say this, at San Diego Comic-Con, they announced it's supposed to be out in early 2025.
Right. So I'm thinking post-production. They say this word production, and you're like, what does this mean?
They've been in production for a while, actually. They've been filming this. So I think I think they're probably wrapping it up in August. And then they'll probably go in with the post-production of the effects and all that kind of stuff. That's the feeling I got.
Okay. All right. Well, let me give you the rundown of Star Trek Las Vegas. The panels were absolutely wonderful. They are completely different. And I think that is in part because of last year with the actor and writer strike, that the questions had to change and go away from the normal, your character played this. And we got such an amazing treat. I just want to run down all of the impromptu, amazing bits of deliciousness that we got from our actors. One thing that I really did appreciate is they made us chant names that were difficult. So I learned that I was saying I said Celia Gooding. Oh shoot, what's her last name? Celia Gooding. Celia Rose Gooding. Sorry.
Which character is that?
That is Uhura on Strange New Worlds.
Okay.
It's Celia.
Celia.
Yes, Celia Rose Gooding. And they brought out from her song from Subspace Rhapsody, the Keep Us Connected. That was her song. She impromptu sang the chorus right there on stage. David Ajala, who plays Book on Discovery, he has been revisiting his talent of playing drums. He went right over to the drums and gave us a little drum solo. Impromptu. Nice. Amazing. We had a panel with the Marys.
That means David Ajala is just even cooler now than he was before.
Absolutely. Yes.
I didn't think that was possible.
So the Mary's panel was Mary Wiseman, who is Tilly, and Mary Chifo, who played Laurel on Discovery. They did an impromptu enactment of Our Town, which they performed together when they were at school at Juilliard.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yes.
Cool.
Nana Visitor, who plays Major Kira on Deep Space Nine.
Love
her
her
book that she has been working on, it's called Open Channel, A Woman's Trek, was just published. She got the first book and she held that up for everyone. And those can be pre-ordered on Amazon.
Did she give a release date on that?
It's yes, but I didn't write it down. It's on the Discord server. It's coming out soon. And then something very special. We had Susan Mitchell, the widow of Kenneth Mitchell, left a beautiful voice message to Mary Chifo, just thanking her for her friendship and what she meant to Ken and the family. I mean, there wasn't a dry eye. It was so heartfelt and just so good to hear her voice and to talk about Kenneth Mitchell and his influence on the Star Trek universe. So those were just a few, and these were all impromptu. If you weren't sitting there, you would miss it. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Wow. So I do have one question I've been wondering about STLV this year, because I know last year there was also some issues with the hotel it was at. And from what I heard this year, they made a almost complete 180 from what it was last year.
Well, we're back to the Rio, and the past year have been going through renovations. One of the largest and best things they did, they took out the buffet and put in a food court. And this isn't just your crappy fast food. This is good fast food. A noodle place, a wonderful beef steak sandwich, a hamburger, chicken wings, and really good quality for an amazing price. Nice. So you had options where at the Rio, you had nothing. Well, I say that hyperbole, but so much better. So you didn't have to like leave the sites and go somewhere to get food. It's just go grab some food and get back to the panels. That was a huge thing. There was still like black curtains around in the hotel because they were still working on conventions. The lobby bar, which used to be called the I Bar, is now called the Lapa Lounge. Wonderful redecoration on that. Great cocktails. And they now serve Band Brothers Band whiskey, which is Paul Wesley, who plays Kirk on Strange New World. That's his whiskey. They serve it there in the Lapa Lounge. And they thankfully did not touch the Masquerade Bar because that is our home. And we did speak to the general manager. Her name is Emerald, really wonderful. And we told her we need the Masquerade Bar because it wasn't open when I arrived. And she says, you know what? We are staffing it, and we will be open as long as you guys are there. And they started it before the convention, so they started on the Wednesday night, and it was staffed, and drinks were easily flowing. That was a problem last year, so they fixed that, and so that made things much better.
Do they still have the Kiss like mini golf area and museum and stuff. I thought that was cool last time I was there.
Yeah, there is a little bar there, and that was never opened. And one thing that I did go, the wine cellar, they redid that. They've got a new menu, again, reasonably priced and an amazing selection of wines. I did get to go there for one night for dinner, and it was just wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now we did have some surprise guests, Jerry O'Connell, and we've talked about Scott Grimes, but so of course, Rebecca Romaine, who plays Una on Strange New World, she was invited guest and was, on the panel. And here comes Jerry O'Connell right up to the mic, asking questions, giving him a hard time. But what was even more better was that while people were waiting in line to get her autograph, he was walking up and down the lines, talking to get free selfies, just being an amazing human being and building the love of why we are at these conventions.
Colonel Ransom playing to the crowd. Go figure.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Captain Ransom,
Captain.
right? Yeah.
Well, Commander.
Commander Ransom. Speaking of that, Amy, because that's always one thing that's always so special, especially at STLV, is just how the actors are.
Yes.
Everywhere we hear, I was hearing a lot of great stuff about Paul Wesley on Twitter and just how he was with the fans.
He was so good.
Anybody else? They always stand out. Everybody's great, but was there any other real standouts for you and your experiences of, somebody who made something that much extra special for you?
Okay. So they changed up how many people were on a panel. And this was one thing that Marina Sirtis, my favorite person, spoke about, is that when you have a TNG panel and you have all, 5 or 6 of them up there, they don't get to talk as much. And she sort of complained about that. Well, they listened and they fixed that. And so what they had a panel of 3, which was Brent, Gates, and Jonathan Frakes. And then they had a BFF panel of Marina and Michael Dorn. So they broke it up. We got to hear more of the stories. It was really wonderful. But one thing that was very similar that I did not think would pair well, they had Kate Mulgrew and Robert Picardo. I didn't know how amazingly good friends they are. They are so good, quick-witted, back and forth, tit for tat, great friends. And you're seeing this beautiful relationship that they have. And it's like, why did we never see this before? That entire panel was just wonderful.
If you watch the later seasons of Voyager, Robert Ricardo was getting a lot of screen time and a lot of good moments with her character. It was great.
Yeah. It's nice to see their friendship, at this point. That was a treat.
Speaking of Kate, Amy, because I was trying to follow what I could on Twitter and everything like that. Seems like Kate was kind of one of the big stars of STLV this year. There was a lot of stuff with Prodigy season 2 love going on that I was hearing about, and a lot of Janeway rumors. Lots of Janeway rumors. Like there might be something in the future with her in Janeway that we haven't seen yet.
Oh, I did not hear, but that's exciting.
That would be very exciting. But you know what? We had STLV going on, which is always such a magical experience. And I'm so glad you had a wonderful time. But the week before, San Diego Comic-Con, which was Comic-Con might be back. You had Marvel at Hall H. You had a lot of big things going on. But there was a very heavy Star Trek influence at San Diego Comic-Con. And they had a lot of announcements, including we got to see our first footage from season 3 of Strange New Worlds. And things got very Vulcan-y really quickly as our crew was in this footage gets changed from human to Vulcan. And if you have not seen this footage, please go find it online because it is absolutely hilarious to see Nurse Chapel, our favorite security officer, Captain Pike, and all the rest become Vulcan and what they do to Spock and how they talk to Spock now that they're fully Vulcan. And it is absolutely hilarious. Looks like we are set for Strange New World season 3 in 2025. Of course, we left on that major cliffhanger. Amy, I'm going to ask you this because your STLV tie-ins, but is the crew of Strange New Worlds now the front and centerpiece of Star Trek?
Oh yeah, it is definitely a fan favorite. And when they were on the panel talking about it, and they were like, we all had to be transformed into Vulcans. And so we asked Ethan Peck, what do you do? And I love Celia was actually telling the stories like, how do you be Vulcan? And what Ethan Peck said was like, well, when you have your emotions, they all come out. And Vulcans have emotions, but it's a laser beam. So it's not every emotion like we are used to. Oh, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm elated, and but it's very focused. And she said that was a click for me. And she's also, I was able to get into character. So I love how they were like helping each other to assume these roles, as Vulcans.
Carol Kane's minute or second that she had in that scene was hilarious.
LSD did nothing for me. This didn't do anything for me. I'm so jealous. there was one. Oh, go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, Carol Kane was at STLV.
Oh God.
So wonderful to have her on stage and recounting her experiences, and of course talking about what she's done in the past. And she's a very private person, so this was very huge and a very special treat for us.
They also had one pretty serious casting announcement for season 3. Cillian O'Sullivan from the show from the Cold will play the legacy role of Dr. Roger Corby, a character first introduced in the original series and portrayed by Michael Strong. He will be a recurring guest star in the upcoming season. I kind of wish Haley was here because I know she's our original series.
Was he the one that dealt with the robots or something? I'm trying to remember what that character did. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm kind of curious how they're going to do that. Is it Cillian O'Sullivan? Is that how you say it?
Cillian O'Sullivan, yeah.
Yeah. What else has he been in? I'm kind of looking up his IMDb here. He's been in Vikings. Only one episode though. 8 episodes of Then You Can Run. Kind of curious about that. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm pulling this from Memory Alpha. Dr. Roger Corby was a renowned male human scientist and professor who lived during the mid 23rd century. He was the ex-fiance of Christine Chapel.
Okay.
So yes, 2025 we will see season 3 of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. But guess what, guys? Before that, on a happy and sad note, season 5 of Lower Decks, the final season, will premiere with its first 2 episodes on October 24th. The 10-episode long season will drop every Thursday on Paramount Plus, leading up to the season finale on Thursday, December 19th. The trailer for this is hilarious. If you have not watched the trailer, go online and watch the trailer for this. It is the final season of Lower Decks, guys. What do you think? Going to go out with an absolute bang in the way only Lower Decks can, Amy?
Absolutely, because last season was on point. It was so funny, so good. Character development, loved it all. It was so fun having T'Lyn and Mariner and Rutherford there. So very excited.
I kind of feel too with the crossover appearance in Strange New Worlds really kind of brought a lot of attention to Lower Decks as well in a really good way.
Yeah.
And you were right. There was some great character development in the last season. And even though we're only getting 5 seasons, I'm fine with it. I can't wait. I just can't wait to own that entire series.
But
okay.
Go ahead. Yes, Amy. No, go ahead.
No,
go ahead, Amy.
Go. No, I was going to change the subject.
Okay. Just because Lower Decks is ending, though, doesn't mean we're done with Tawny Newsome being part of our Star Trek family. Oh, no. This is one of the most intriguing and most curiosity announcements of Star Trek in a very long time, because Tawny Newsome and Justin Simeon teased that a new Star Trek series is in development, but it is a live-action comedy series that is in development for Paramount Plus. In this comedy, Federation outsiders serving a gleaming resort planet find out their day-to-day exploits are being broadcast to the entire quadrant. It is Star Trek meets the Truman Show. Kevin.
Hold on. Is this going to be a show about Risa? Please, please, please. The first thing that came to my mind was like, let's have some shenanigans on Risa, and then take us back to those TV shows where your favorite shows took a summer break when all the cast would go work at like a summer beach club like 90210 or Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
So, Amy, the question I asked for you, because Tani's also been writing on some other things for Star Trek as well. Tani Newsom has ingrained herself as one of the biggest figures in Star Trek right now, hasn't she?
Yeah, and well deserved, because her personality and just aura, when she walks in a room, the room gets brighter. Life is better. She has this magic where she can do no wrong right now. She's just humble and loving and caring and loves the franchise so much. And I'm so excited to see what this is. And again, credit to Alex Kurtzman for giving us the largest variety of types of shows in any franchise. There is not one franchise that is this well diverse in theme, in genre, in characters. I am loving Alex Kurtzman, and he was there at STLV too.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to see how they're going to pull this off. But the next couple of pieces of news are the big ones. And first off, we're going to talk about the new show, Starfleet Academy, that is currently in the works.
That's what I meant to say.
And we got some major casting news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con that I know for sure will make Amy Nelson very happy, because we have some familiar faces coming to Starfleet Academy as all reprising the previous roles. Tig Notaro is returning as Jet. Mary Wiseman as Tilly. Oded Fuhr, Captain Admiral, hot Admiral, Amy's favorite news. And maybe the most shocking casting announcement of all is, and we were just talking about him, Robert Picardo returning as the Doctor for Starfleet Academy. This is huge. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure about Starfleet Academy, and now I'm in. With this casting news, I'm in, because my curiosity is at a 10 now with what they're going to do with Robert Picardo, especially in this. I got to assume this was probably some of the big talk at STLV too, was this casting, Amy.
It actually wasn't. The big news, and this is why I was wrong before and you guys corrected me, the production starts the end of this month for Starfleet Academy. So that's what's starting at the end of August. So I do apologize for my error before, but there wasn't really much. Mary Wiseman could not say hardly anything, but we know that from season 5 of Discovery that she was set up. We know she's teaching, so it's going to lead right into the only supposition I heard with Robert Picardo was that maybe, I'm not sure, the episode of Voyager where he's the museum, and that form of the Doctor, like the museum doctor, would be in Starfleet Academy. Remember when he was that museum?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched Voyager, though.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, I'm curious of your take on these casting announcements, because I think this is really kind of pumped some intrigue lifeblood for a lot of Star Trek fans into the Starfleet Academy show.
I need more Tig Notaro in my life. Tig's performances when we saw it in Discovery was some of my favorite moments, to be honest with you. And I hope it's not like just a once every now and then appearance. I need a major character. I need a major role for Tig in this. I really, really, really want to see Tig shine here.
Yeah, I think a lot of us could use a little more Jet in our lives.
Yep.
I'm just happy that Oded Fair's coming back. And if he's just a little bit roll every single week, that's really all I need. But I would love to see, some more of that.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, of course, the other huge announcement coming out of San Diego Comic-Con was the release of the teaser trailer for the Section 31 movie. This movie is due out in early 2025 on Paramount Plus. I was very impressed by this trailer, and I think what is even better, guys, is that now that she's Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh, they just said take Giorgio and turn it to 10,000, not 1,000, but 10,000. And I think this is going to be a Michelle Yeoh masterpiece film because she is just taking charge. You can see it in the trailer. She is just taking charge and running the whole ball of wax here, Amy.
Yeah, that trailer. When I was watching it, I forgot that it wasn't going to be a series, and then I was talking, and it's like, I was thinking, why is this so beautiful? Why is this so in deep? Like in depth and so focused. And then my friends were like, well, it's just a movie. I'm like, oh yeah. Like that got me even more excited because what we're seeing, those costumes, the direction, the lighting, like this is a huge movie. And that's where Michelle Yeoh shines. I mean, great in Discovery, but shines on movie stage.
Kevin, what did you think of this trailer?
I'm not sure what to think of it yet. I'm a little apprehensive about it, but I am curious. I do want to see, especially since it's a movie. And I was curious about one of the actors, like where I'd seen him before. And one of the guys, I think it's in this picture here, and the other one you had was Omari Hardwick. It's like, where have I seen that guy before? I think the guy on the right there, if you're looking at the slideshow here on YouTube. Yeah. And I realized I saw him in Army of the Dead with David Bautista. That was the futuristic apocalyptic zombie movie that takes place in Vegas, where they try to do a heist in a heavily infested zombie area to get old gold and bullion from a casino. And you know who co-starred in that movie, Kyle? We talked about it.
That was one Tig Notaro.
Tig Notaro, yes. So it's just funny how things come around. Anyway.
So it has been a very busy week here at the Union Federation podcast, intercepting transmissions. I just also want to say one thing at San Diego Comic-Con that they did was they literally had a panel that was a crossover of two major science fiction mainstays. You had Alex Kurtzman from Star Trek, and you had Russell T. Davies, who's currently the showrunner for Doctor Who, do a panel together and kind of had this crossover of Star Trek, Doctor Who love going on at San Diego Comic-Con. And if you can go find that panel, it's quite interesting to see these two different science fictions kind of collide at San Diego Comic-Con, but they had a lot of fun with it. And so it's very interesting. But guys,
one more. I forgot.
I have something too, Kyle.
Oh, okay. Amy?
Yeah. So talking about collisions of fandoms, it was the 40th anniversary of The Search for Spock, and we had one Christopher Lloyd on stage. So cool. Yes, of course, talking a lot about Back to the Future and that role there. And his favorite, just FYI, is Back to the Future 3. It's like, because he meets Clara. So that was absolutely wonderful to have Christopher Lloyd. And he did his famous Great Scott. It was so awesome.
Such a good villain Klingon in that movie. He was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to take this opportunity. This is our Section 31 Black transmission news thing, and I want to let people know, if you're listening, watching this, please stay tuned to a Union Federation podcast for the upcoming weeks. We're doing a very cool weekly series, a limited series, 9 episodes. We're going to be covering all of the Star Trek Next Generation 2-part episodes, starting with this bad boy right here, The Best of Both Worlds. And there was a total of 8 2-part episodes. We're going to be covering each in depth. In the final episode, we're going to kind of be looking at the whole thing, giving us our whole take on all of them. And we're also going to be doing a quick little discussion, of course, about the other favorite Star Trek 2-part episodes from other series. So make sure you check it out. It is going to be recording and releasing this week.
Very exciting. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. But guys, I'm seeing some kind of glowy stuff kind of come under my door here, and it's starting to take another shape. I'm worried Odo might have just found out I've been intercepting transmissions. So with that, guys, this has been the Union Federation podcast on both the FPN and BQN networks. Again, this is a special interception of some Section 31 black transmissions, all the news that's happened that recently at the STLV and San Diego Comic-Con. Of course, you can find the Union Federation podcast on both the Fandom Podcast Network and the BQN Network. Real quick, guys, before we get out of here, Kevin, where can people find you on the socials?
Spartan_Phoenix on all the socials, including Discord and, of course, X, Instagram, Letterbox, all that. Spartan_Phoenix. And, of course, you can find me on the Union Federation Facebook group, BQN chat as well. And, of course, the Discord. So, yeah.
And Amy, without revealing any of your STLV aliases that you use to get into some of these secret places that we won't talk about, where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, best place is the Facebook group there and on Discord. I've sort of gotten away from X Twitter. So,
well, there we go. I'm hoping I'm not going to Cardassian jail anytime soon. I'm going to try to get out of here very quietly, guys. But thank you for helping me get all this information together on the Spy Network. And stay tuned, because those 2-part episodes of the Union Federation are going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a blast with them. But for now, hailing frequencies are really closed.